up, guys? I'm Justin, KQ4CIA, and I am driving to a park. I'm sure you couldn't have guessed that as usual. But once I get to the park, I'm going to set up, and I'll walk you through the setup at this park. I'm going to activate the battleship today. I'm going to also I'm going to participate in a 3905 Century Club net. It's a Worked All States and Awards net. Today is a holiday, so they're going to have a 20-meter net. So I'm going to join that, and I'll record some of that. If you need any Worked All States awards, or you're interested in getting involved in almost free club, I highly recommend it. Good group of guys. But anyway, just wanted to give you an update. Stick with me. This is Kilo Quebec 4, Charlie India Alpha, activating Park Kilo 6831, calling CQ Parks on the air, CQ Parks on the air, CQ POTA, CQ POTA, Kilo Quebec 4, Charlie India Alpha, calling CQ POTA, KQ4CIA, CQ POTA, and listening. Alright guys, it looks like moving forward the ICOM 706 is no longer going to be a viable radio. It has not proven to be consistent the last two times I've activated a park. It's going to be sad. As y'all know from some of my other videos, it was my first HF rig. But moving forward, I'll only be using my Yaesu 891. Or if I'm in my shack, I'll use the 891 or my Yaesu FTDX10. So I'm not at a loss, but it is a sad day to see that 706 end its life. Hey, what's up, everybody? Ooh, that was bad. What's up, everybody? I'm Justin, KQ4CIA, Blackbeard's radio. Went and activated a park today. It was my most difficult activation yet. Made it back to the house. I was so discouraged I didn't film a lot during it. I had a pretty cool couple DX contacts in the park. I got a couple park-to-parks. That should give me another award for park-to-parks. I think that was 325. I think I surpassed that, and if I remember right, that's an award. So that's cool. But I activated for like 2 hours, and I only had like 36 contacts or something. It was pretty rough. And then I went through a net while I was still in the park. So I went QRT on the POTA page, but I continued my activation while I was on the net for the Century Club. Got a couple DX there, and then some local guys, I guess you would say. So that was kind of cool. But now that I'm back home, the interesting part for this week is that I am taking a POTA road trip. Myself and K4JEL Jeff, he's been in my 2 roving videos that we've done, where we activated 10 parks in a day and 15 parks in a day. Jeff and I are leaving, and we're going to the Outer Banks of North Carolina on Wednesday of this week, and today's Monday. It's President's Day. So I kind of have to take some things out of my truck. I've got to pull my 891 out. I've got to get it unmounted from the back seat, which is back there. So I'm going to bring you along while I do that. Take my antenna off my toolbox. Yeah, that's it. Stick with me. All right, first and foremost, I guess I should probably get my headset and keyboard and iPad and book bag out of the back seat. Should have done that before I started filming. Oh well, y'all know me. Or at least you should by now. I don't really plan anything. One thing about it, you know it's all real. My daughter's car seat's got to come out of here. This is going to be the first time that we are not taking my truck so we're not really sure yet what we're going to do, or how we're going to activate, I should say. Book bag in the picture, sorry. So we might, depending on how the time treats us, we might park and bark, you know, where you show up at a park and you just activate it, and if the bands are hot and everything's going great, we might just stay there and we might make piles and piles of contacts sitting still, or we might decide to try and rove. So either way, it's always good to have a backup radio. Because we need a backup radio, we're going to pull my 891 out. Jeff also has an 891. His is in a Go box. I don't know if he's using a Gator box or not, but he has his set up with his tuner, power meter, speaker, battery. It's all in one heavy case, which is amazing once you set it up. But getting it set up like in a park, it can be a little bit of a pain in the butt because it has wheels, but would you roll your radio and stuff down a gravel path? I mean, I wouldn't, and Jeff doesn't. So in the event that we decide that we're going to park somewhere and just sit there for a while and activate, I'm going to bring my 891 in my Pelican case, or not Pelican case. So I just got to pull it out of the mount. It is 4 7mm screws. Well, the head is a 7mm, and these are the screws that came with it. I think it's kind of neat if you don't lose those screws. I still have not ordered more. It's the same screw as the ground screw. I think it's an M4, but these are only like 6 mil long since it's metric. So they make thumb screws or wing nut screws, not nuts, but it's actually a wing nut. And that way I won't have to have a wrench to do this anymore. I'll just be able to kind of stand outside and do it. And it's not a huge deal to do it with a ratchet, but it means I have to take a ratchet out of the house. And if y'all are like me, every time you move something, there's a good chance it's not going back where it should. Or at least not immediately. All right, so the radio's off the mount. I'll disconnect power supply from the truck. My antenna with my ferrite bead. That wing nut choke, or wing nut screw that I was telling you about for my grounding lug. That way I didn't have to have a number 1 screwdriver every time I wanted to ground or unground it. All right, I'll put that back in a minute. The remote head cable is the white one. And the black to black is my microphone extension. I've been over this before, but I have a microphone extension that I'll leave on the radio. This is a 12-inch Cat 6 extender. And if I remember right, the Cat 6 is the RJ45. But I leave this on here all the time. And I do that mainly because sometimes I'll use the microphone and sometimes I'll use a headset. And when I switch back and forth, it's a lot easier to unplug from this cable here than it is take the faceplate on and off. That is definitely one of the things that ICOM has figured out that Yaesu needs to get on board with. Put the stupid microphone jack on the faceplate. Don't make me take it on and off 22 times. I guess it keeps it secure and safe, but I mean, realistically, we all switch between, not we all, a lot of people switch between headsets and not headsets. But now that I have it out, I'll tighten these things back up. That way I don't lose them. Oh yeah, I was right. It's an M4 by 6 mil. Ha, neat. Look at that. Now just my ground screw back in. There we go. So now I'm done under the truck, or under the back seat, excuse me. I'll get my signal link out and my cable extension. I've never connected my 891 digitally, but this trip might be the trip. All right, let's go check out the antenna. So the antenna is just on a mirror mount. We've been over it. But, you know, the mirror mounts, if you pull half of them off, then it is just a flat mount. I've ran my ground wire connected here, and of course my coax here. So I leave all this connected and I just take off my hem stick. Inside of this piece, I've taken a little bit of dielectric grease. It is grease that is made for electrical connections. And I actually put that in there, that way it does not, hopefully helps prevent from corrosion. For those of you that follow along, you know I live near the beach and I operate POTA pretty much on the beach relatively frequently. So it's important for me to be able to try and eliminate any corrosion when and where I can. Well, that about finishes me up. Now all I gotta do is repack my hard plastic case and take the ICOM 706, which by the way is not working well. I ran it again today at my POTA activation and it was cutting in and out. I think I'm gonna have everlasting issues with it. Almost like I dropped it, 4 feet onto concrete. Huh. You live and learn, right? So I'm probably just gonna put that on my shelf. Maybe if I expand my shack one day and get to the point where I can put it in the shack somehow and just as a memorial piece more than anything, maybe I'll do that. But other than that, guys, I'm sure I'll go live Wednesday once we leave town. We're pretty much going to park hop all the way from Wilmington, North Carolina to Kill Devil Hills, North Carolina. And then once we get up to Kill Devil Hills, we're going to operate parks. We're going to operate nets from parks. And we are going to, I don't know, we might try and do a rove and do 20 parks in one day. We hadn't really made our minds up yet. I do know we're going to Cape Hatteras Lighthouse and the Wright Brothers Memorial, which is a national monument, but not in a national park. disheartening. But yeah, so that'll be cool. I'll check y'all later, guys. Please consider liking and subscribing. It helps me know what y'all like. I'll talk to y'all later. Thanks.